I always like to say this first because I'm proud. I'm Muslim. So my brothers and sisters in Islam, they call me Suleiman. So some people call me Michael, some people call me Suleiman. Somebody recently described me as unconventional. I left school when I was 15 years old. I never went to university. And I started working. I started working in the refrigeration and HVAC industry in the UK. And I was on the tools until I was about 28 years old. So I did electrical engineering in college and I did refrigeration engineering in college. And I worked. I worked in the built environment, I did service work, I was working all night. So I have a very strong hands-on understanding of the built environment. Since then I've worked for some major global corporations that put me on talent development programs, taught me business, finance, HR, all of the functions. So I've held senior general manager positions in global corporations. I've run organizations as managing directors. I came to the UAE 8 years ago with a global corporation. And 6.5 years ago, I joined a local FM company. And we grew that business and it was very successful. And then 6 weeks ago, I joined Concordia as the general manager. I took the role with Concordia because it is a great business. It's a great brand, it's well known, and the ownership structure is very strong. It really enticed me into the role. Concordia has a good reputation, but I can see opportunities where we can grow, profitable growth. I've been working with my team on areas where we can save costs so that we can offer that value onto our clients and customers. There's areas where we can improve in quality. I can see this on site. And then I really want us to be an organisation, and Concordia is, to be fair. I want us to enhance the way that we approach our employees and the way that we approach our clients to really maximise that attention that we give to both our employees and our clients and our customers. Some of the challenges for the FM industry over the next few years, there's a lot of competition in the marketplace at the moment. And I'm not going to talk about people undercutting other companies and the race to the bottom. This is not my point. I have a concern that there are assets that are being let at a price point at the moment, which means that those assets maybe aren't being maintained to the optimum level. So I think one of the challenges for the FM service industry is managing assets in the future that either their price point has been dropped to an extent where they're not being maintained properly so that the actual value of the asset is being degraded, or as assets get older, they're not being funds in sinking funds to actually maintain those assets. I think that this will be ultimately surmounted by consolidation. I think there's going to be a lot more consolidation in the FM market as we go forward. I think some of the smaller players will be eaten up by some of the larger players. But I think there's a real point for clients and customers to understand that there is a price for maintenance, there's a price for maintaining a building, and that the sinking funds need to be in place to maintain those buildings going forward. So I think this is a challenge that both clients and customers and FM service providers need to grapple with together. But of course, we have a responsibility to keep our cost base down, make sure that we're efficient, so that we can meet the cost requirements of the clients and the customers. I like to think of Concordia as like a sleeping beast. Like I say, it's got an amazing ownership structure. It really is so strong. The organisation traditionally was built out of one master community, but now the organisation has many master communities all over Dubai and many towers all over Dubai outside of the ownership structure. And I don't think this is really commonly understood. So I think there is a huge growth opportunity for master communities within Concordia, but also leasehold and freehold buildings. Concordia already has a strong footprint in all three of these areas, but I think we can grow them. Additional to that, the on-demand services business within Concordia is strong, but it's almost like an untapped potential. And then the fit out and the project management side of the organisation, again, it's strong, but it's an untapped potential. I can honestly see many different areas of growth, even just within the current sectors and with the current offerings. And then there is a depth of offering within Concordia. It might be that in one contract we might do the MEP and we might do the cleaning, but we don't do the facade cleaning, for instance. So as well as growing in new sites, I think there's cross-selling the depth of offering that Concordia can offer as well. And this ultimately will mean that the more offerings that we can sell into an individual client or customer, then they will get the economies of scale, which means that we'll be able to compete at a more competitive price for them. The greatest achievement, which happened just after I joined, which is not my achievement, is that Concordia was 15 years old this year. I do think it's a slightly bizarre turn of fate that 15 years ago, on the 27th of July, Concordia was created, and the 27th of July just happens to be my birthday. So every year now when Concordia is celebrating its birthday, I will also be celebrating my birthday. But Concordia being in business for 15 years in Dubai, I think is an amazing milestone. But as I was mentioning earlier, there have been significant contract wins over the last 12 months in master communities and in individual towers. And then the launch of the on-demand digital platform, it was a great achievement as well. So there are many, many achievements over the last 12 months with Concordia. It is a very strong brand, but one I believe that is untapped. I think that we can certainly develop and grow Concordia, building on the last 15 years into the next 15 years. I mentioned this point earlier, but I certainly believe that there's going to be consolidation in the marketplace. There are simply too many players. There are many very good players. The benchmark in the UAE is actually very high, and it should be because it has some of the best real estate in the world, to be honest. But there are many, many smaller players, and we need to be able to offer our services at a price point that matches the client and the customer requirements. Having so many players means that there are intrinsically overlays of costs that aren't required, specifically direct costs with duplicated HR, finance and all of this kind of thing. So there is going to be consolidation. I think technology is going to play a big part, but I don't think it's going to play a big part in the way that people push it at the moment. Robotics is something I think that us as an industry needs to continually explore, but I don't think at the moment that robotics is a price point that works within the UAE, mainly because the price of labour is at a price point, which means that the return on investment for a robot these days that can easily cost 200,000 dirhams would give an ROI of like 4 or 5 years. And also with robotics and partly with technology, many of the RFPs led by clients and customers are stipulating headcount and stipulating particular ways of working. And although we might submit alternative proposals, they're rarely considered, coming down to the price and the RFP that was set at the beginning. But I think where technology really is going to have a major impact is anywhere where we can make data-made decisions. This includes obviously the utilisation of our CASM systems and mobility solutions, but it can go into all sorts of different areas of our business. IoT has a place to play, but not IoT just because we want something fancy and we want to be able to read what a machine is doing, but IoT so that we can make data-made decisions. And this could be in pest control, it could be in smart washrooms, it could be in alerts in areas where you don't want to have a man paying to sit waiting for an alert so that you get a signal. So undoubtedly the UAE is growing. There is construction going on all the time. The future is exciting. It's a great industry to be in, the FM industry in the Middle East and within the UAE. But I definitely think there's going to be consolidation. I think technology has a real future in the UAE, but technology that's aligned to data-made decisions. The reason why we want to have data-made decisions is this means that we can then allocate our costs and resources in an efficient way so that we're saving costs to our clients and our customers.